Right, I've realized something over the last couple of days. Apparently, I need to stop trusting technology. And before anybody starts panicking, I'm not about to launch into some anti-technology, anti-AI rant. I'm talking about something much more serious, the weather app. Because for the second night running, a week or two ago, I've gone out walking the dog, having checked the weather beforehand, and I don't mean I glanced at it. I checked it. Sunshine for hours. Absolutely brilliant. Lightweight rab jacket on, dog ready, off we go. And then, out of nowhere, rain. Not a little bit of drizzle, may I add. Proper rain, proper hardcore rain. And there I am, absolutely soaked, thinking, why didn't I just look out the bloody window? And that's when I thought, there's probably a podcast in this. Because how often do we do exactly the same thing in businesses? We look at dashboards or reports or forecasts, KPIs, application spreadsheets. And sometimes we forget to do the most basic thing of all. Go and have a look, touch the grass, get your arse outside the office, see what's actually happening. And funnily enough, the following night I found myself in another similar situation where reality didn't quite follow the plan. This time, England, not my team, may I add, but England were winning in the World Cup against Argentina. Welcome back to The Edge, the CWC Edge podcast. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've listened before, listen, thank you very much for coming back. Before we get into today's episode, if you enjoy any of these conversations, please subscribe or follow the podcast or become a follower on YouTube. And if something I say today makes you think of somebody else, share the episode with them. That's genuinely one of the best ways you can help my podcast grow. The Edge about leadership, business, lean thinking, continuous improvement, and increasingly, it's more about just making sense of some of the things that happen in everyday life. Because sometimes the best leadership lessons, they don't come from textbooks. They come when you're standing in the pouring rain, wondering why your phone told you it was sunny. So let's get into it. The next evening, I'm watching England play Argentina. England score 1-0 just after the halftime break. They're playing well. I'm feeling positive, and I need to get my 3-mile run done. So I'd think, perfect, England's winning. You know, they're playing really well. The evening sun is out. The dog's ready. He's raring to go. I have my barefoot shoes on. And while I'm running, I start recording a video. I'm talking about England. I'm talking about pressure. I'm talking about how teams adapt in these high-stress situations. I'm feeling really, really pleased with myself. Thought I've got great content here. Beautiful evening. Dogs running alongside me. I'm getting my exercise in. I'm creating content. I'm talking about leadership, multitasking. This is fantastic, except while I'm out running and confidently talking about England doing so well and about how they were overcoming adversity, Argentina score twice. England lose 2-1. I didn't know. So somewhere on my phone is a 4 to 5 minute video of me. I uploaded it to TikTok, actually, happily talking about how well things were going, while in reality, everything has changed. And honestly, I think that's brilliant, because it's that it isn't leadership, isn't the business, isn't that life. You're working with the information you've got. You think things are going well and something changes. A customer changes a requirement, a machine goes down, someone leaves, a supplier lets you down, a project gets delayed, your budget changes, your team changes, or Argentina score twice while you're out running with the dog. The question isn't, how do I make sure nothing ever changes, however? Because that's impossible, remember. The question is, how quickly can I recognize that reality has changed and adapt to it? I've spent a significant part of my work and life in environments where planning matters. The military, engineering, project management, football coaching, business. Planning is important, really important, but there's a danger we become emotionally attached to the plan. We spent 3 months building it. We've got the PowerPoint, we've got the Gantt charts, we've got spreadsheets, we've had 17 messages, 17 meetings about it. We've color-coded everything. Therefore, the plan must be right. Except reality doesn't care about your PowerPoint. The customer doesn't care about Gantt charts. The machine doesn't care about your project milestones. The weather definitely doesn't care about your weather app. And Argentina certainly didn't care that I'd already started recording my video. The plan is simply our best understanding of what we think might happen. Leadership begins when what actually happens is different. That's where adaptability matters. This brings me back to lean. One of the principles I love is Genchi Genbutsu. Go and see. Don't manage everything from a spreadsheet. Don't assume. Don't sit in your office looking at a red box on a dashboard and invent theories about why it's red. Go there. Speak to the people doing the job. Look at the machine. Walk the process. Ask yourself questions. Understand what's actually happening. And I think we're at risk of losing some of that. Technology is incredible. AI is incredible. I use it all the time. Data is incredibly powerful. I'm a massive advocate for digital transformation. I've worked with machine monitoring programs, learning management systems, digital tools, process improvement. I love technology when it makes people's jobs easier. But technology should help us understand reality. It shouldn't replace our relationships with reality. That's a difference. If the dashboard says everything's green, but everybody on the shop floor is struggling, you've got a problem. If your employee engagement surveys say everything's fantastic, but nobody speaks in meetings, you've got a problem. If your project tracker says you're 90% complete, but the last 10% contains 50% of the actual work, you've got a problem. And if your weather app says sunshine, but you can hear rain bouncing off the conservatory roof, if you've got one, maybe, just maybe, look outside. This brings me back to the England game. Sport is fascinating because pressure is visible. You can see momentum change, you can see confidence change, you can see people making decisions under stress. But businesses experience exactly the same thing. The difference is there's usually no scoreboard. When pressure increases, people often revert to habit. Communication becomes shorter and people become defensive. Departments retreat into silos. Leaders start trying to control everything, and suddenly everybody is incredibly busy. But nobody is quite sure whether we're solving the right problem. And that's when leadership matters. Oh, John Deere. Not when everything is going according to plan. Leadership is easy when you're 1-0 up. The interesting bit starts when the other one equalizes. What happens next? Do you panic? Do you blame somebody? Do you throw the entire strategy away? Or do you pause, understand what's changed, communicate, adapt, and then move again? That's leadership, guys. Some of the calmest environments I've experienced have actually been some of the highest pressure environments, believe it or not. I've talked about this before on podcasts. And it sounds strange, but there's a reason. Clarity. People understand rules. They understand intent. They understand priorities. And they train for that. That doesn't mean everything goes according to plan. Far from it. But when things change, people have a framework to operate within. That's something I've carried into business. I don't believe good leadership means telling everybody exactly what to do. I believe firmly good leadership means creating enough clarity that people can make good decisions when you're not there. That's what we call empowerment. And that's why adaptability and empowerment are connected. If your entire organization has to wait for one person to approve every single decision, you're not adaptable. You're dependent. And dependency is, guess what? Slow. I see this coaching football as well. You can spend all week planning formations, shapes, training, set pieces, who plays where, and the game starts. And within 10 minutes, everything you've planned has gone complete. 10 minutes, 2 minutes, completely out the window, especially in grassroots football. because the opposition didn't read your plan. So what do? You adapt. But here's the important bit. The players need to learn to adapt too. You can't joystick children around a football pitch. You have to let them play themselves. And you shouldn't joystick employees around a business either. Give people principles, give them clarity, coach them better, let them make decisions, let them get something wrong, help them to learn. That's development. Now, while all of this profound leadership thinking was happening, I was also running 3 miles in, let's see if I can do it, barefoot shoes, which I appreciate sounds like the most middle-aged sentence I've probably ever said. But I've generally become a massive fan of barefoot footwear. Walking the dog, running, different terrain, I love them. I absolutely love them. Kids hate them. And no, they're not paying me yet. If anybody from the barefoot shoe industry is listening, I'm available. We'll talk. But there's actually something relevant here. Barefoot footwear is about connection, feeling the ground, responding to what's underneath you, and there's probably another leadership metaphor in there somewhere else, if I can think of it on my feet. Maybe we need to feel the ground more, touch the grass, as we say. Maybe organisations need to feel what's actually happening rather than cushioning themselves with layers upon layers of reporting. Or maybe I'm desperately trying to justify talking about my shoes on a leadership podcast. Do you know what? Either way, I love them, and I don't really care what other people think about barefoot shoes. I think they're brilliant. We're moving into an incredible period. AI, automation, data, digital transformation, and I think it's exciting. It's bloody exciting. But here's my challenge. Don't outsource common sense. Use AI. Use your dashboards. Use apps. Use technology, but stay curious. Challenge the output. Go and see. Talk to people. Ask, does this process make sense to you? Because the smartest system in the world is useless if we blindly follow information that doesn't match reality. The future leader isn't somebody who rejects technology, and it isn't somebody who blindly trusts technology. It's someone who knows how to combine technology with human judgment. That's the edge. And this is where Kaizen comes into it, continuous improvement. It isn't about getting everything right. It's almost the opposite. Excuse me. It's accepting that things won't always be right. Observe, learn, adjust, improve, repeat. The weather forecast was wrong. Fine. Next time, I'll look outside. England lost. Fine for me, not fine for a lot of English people, but what can the team learn from that? A project misses a milestone. Fine. Why? What did we learn? What changes? The process doesn't work. Absolutely fine. Go and see. Understand, improve. That's Kaizen. It's not perfection, it's movement. So here's my challenge for you this week. Look at one area of your life or work where you're relying on information from a distance. Maybe it's a dashboard, report, assumption, an email, spreadsheets, whatever it is, and go and see. Speak to somebody. Walk the process. Ask a question. Look outside. Touch the grass. Because you might discover that what you thought was happening isn't actually what's happening at all. But that's okay also, because leadership isn't about always being right. Leadership, I believe, is about being willing to update your thinking when reality proves you wrong. So there you go, another podcast in my car, inspired by a weather app, a soaking wet dog, an England game I didn't finish watching, a 3-mile run, and a pair of barefoot shoes. I told you the podcast was coming back. I didn't say it was going to make sense. But hopefully there's something useful in there. Plans matter, data matters, technology matters, but reality always gets my final vote. So use the tools wisely, build the plan, check your dashboards, but every now and again, get your arse outside of your office or outside of your house and go and see. Touch the grass. And if it's raining, maybe take a proper coat with you. Thanks for listening to the Age podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, Subscribe, share it with someone who might appreciate it, please, and let me know what you took away from it. You can find out more about what I'm building through CWC Edge at cwcedge.com. Stay curious, keep improving, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep your edge.